Today is a very fishy art class. We will draw some fish using simple shapes and color or paint them any way you choose. Today we will read The Rainbow Fish by Marcus Pfister. His first name is the same as my last name. It's pretty cool. A long way out in the deep blue sea, there lived a fish. Not just an ordinary fish, but the most beautiful fish in the entire ocean. His scales were every shade of blue and green and purple with sparkling silver scales among them. Look how they sparkle. The other fish were amazed at his beauty. They called him Rainbow Fish. "Come on, Rainbow Fish," they would call. "Come and play with us." But the Rainbow Fish would just glide past, proud and silent, letting his scales shimmer. One day, a little blue fish followed after him. "Rainbow Fish," he called, "wait for me. Please give me one of your shiny silver scales. They are so wonderful, and you have so many." Do you guys think he's gonna share his scales? "You want me to give you one of my special scales? Who do you think you are?" cried the Rainbow Fish. "Get away from me." Shocked, the little blue fish swam away. He was so upset, he told all his friends what had happened. From then on, no one would have anything to do with the Rainbow Fish. What good were dazzling, shimmering scales with no one to admire them? Now he was the loneliest fish in the whole ocean. One day, he pulled out his troubles to the starfish. "I really am beautiful. Why doesn't anybody like me?"
"Well, I can't answer that for you," said the starfish. "But if you go beyond the coral reef to a deep cave, you will find the wise octopus. Maybe she can help you."
The Rainbow Fish found the cave. It was very dark, and he couldn't see anything. Then suddenly, two eyes caught him in their glare, and the octopus emerged from the darkness.
"I've been waiting for you," said the octopus in a deep voice. "The waves have told me your story. This is my advice. Give a glittering scale to each of the other fish. You will no longer be the most beautiful fish in the ocean, but you will discover how to be happy." "I can't," said the Rainbow Fish, but the octopus had already disappeared in a cloud of ink. "Give away my scales? My beautiful shining scales? Never. How could I ever be happy without them?" Suddenly, he felt the light touch of a fin. The little blue fish was back. "Rainbow Fish, please don't be angry. I just want one little scale." What do you think? Will he share now? The Rainbow Fish wavered. "Only one small shimmery scale? Maybe I wouldn't miss just one." Carefully, the Rainbow Fish pulled out the smallest scale and gave it to the little fish. Thank you very much." The little blue fish bubbled playfully as he tucked the shiny scale in among his blue ones. A rather peculiar feeling came over the Rainbow Fish. For a long time, he watched the little blue fish swim back and forth with his new scale glittering in the water. How do you think the Rainbow Fish is feeling? The little blue fish whizzed through the ocean with his scale flashing, and it didn't take long before the Rainbow Fish was surrounded by the other fish. What do you think they want? Did you guess a scale? That's right, everyone wanted a glittering scale. The Rainbow Fish shared his scales left and right, and the more he gave away, the more delighted he became. When the water around him was full of glimmering scales, he at last felt at home amongst the other fish. Finally, the Rainbow Fish only had one shining scale left. His most prized possessions had been given away, but he was very happy. "Come on, Rainbow Fish," they called. "Come and play with us." "Here I come," said the Rainbow Fish, and, as happy as a splash, he swam off to join his friends. And that's the end. I love this book. because it's about sharing and it has the most beautiful illustrations. Are you guys ready to draw a fish together and maybe even paint an ocean? Let's start. For this project, I'm going to make 2 examples, but you just need 1 piece of paper, some crayons, a pencil, and if you have paint at home, go for it. If not, that's okay. I'll show you a cool trick later. We're gonna start by drawing the fish. I think the fish's body is like an oval. Now, if your oval isn't perfect, that's good. We're all learning how to draw. After you draw your oval, it's time to add the fish's eye. You can just make a little dot. You can put a circle around it. Any way you draw eyes is cool. Now wait a sec. Are you drawing along with me? If you're not, pause that video, go get your paper and your pencil, and then come back. We're gonna do this together. After your eyes, it's time for the mouth. You can make a smile, kind of like a goldfish cracker, and you can add another line to make it look open. Or you can make these bubbly fishy lips. Can you make fishy lips with your mouth? Next, we're gonna draw a curved line. That's gonna separate the head from the scaly body on our fish. Do you know what these shapes on a fish's back and sides are? That's right, fins. These are called fins, and fins can be all kinds of shapes on a fish. You could make kind of like a soft triangle. You could make a wiggly line. You could make a spiky line. Then you want him or her to be able to swim, right? So we need to add some on the bottom too. Now for the tail. One way to make a tail is by making these diagonal lines that go out and connecting them in the middle. Another way is by making 1, 2 triangles. So pause the video and make your tail. All right, our fish is looking pretty good. So our next step is going to be to trace it. I traced this top fish with a Sharpie marker and the bottom fish with a black crayon. Both of these tools will resist paint if you decide to try to paint. After that, let's add details, and the biggest one are the scales. I think some sideways U shapes or C shapes work great. You can connect them like this, sort of like C, 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 right? Or they could just be kind of floating. You can add details to your ocean after that. I like some bubbles, just like in the storybook. And then, what else do you see? Do you see some seaweed on this ocean? What else could we find in an ocean? You can draw him a buddy, like the little blue fish from the story. You could also draw other sea creatures. Do you know what the name of an animal with 8 legs is in the ocean? That's right, an octopus. You could add a jellyfish or a starfish, little rocks maybe, any other details you think would look cool. After that, I'm gonna color in some of the small stuff with crayon. If you're only using crayon or marker, just color in the whole thing. And if you choose to use watercolor paint, you can wake up that paint and color the whole ocean and the fish. If you're just using crayons, try to put 2 colors on top of each other. And then your last option, if you want to make coloring the ocean feel special but you don't have paint, is to use markers and water and create your own paint. So you color a little bit, then you just put the water on top, and voila, it turns into paint. Pretty cool. Enjoy this project, little fishies. I think you'll have fun.